that I plug it into your computer. My shit is old as.
Um, we want to talk about that today. We had some extra credit that some people did back early March. They went to lectures. Those reports are due on Thursday. Did those extra credit reports. I put something on Blackboard about another opportunity.
Check this out.
We usually don't hear too much
Sick.
about this. If you want me to answer any questions, we'll go briefly. Stop me if you want to stop that. We'll collect all the tests when we're done going through them. And then.
Yo, what's up, Josh?
All hands due today, we still do the lab book, hopefully everybody has done it. It's on the metamorphic rocks, we'll be going over that. On homework that we can do on Thursday. Chapter 22 of the text book. So I'm skipping over there because I want to go back and look at it over some more and just talk about
Oh, damn.
talk about the ores that.
Don't take that one.
So.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Your site visit, your first site visit report is due on Tuesday. Hopefully you all have worked on that, and get those. And then yes, we'll have, turn your lab, we'll have to have igneous rocks identified, so let you know that they are in the library. We're gonna be having some class time, we were finishing up the middle, or at least we get more of the next test, the igneous rocks, Oregon 7 rocks, the Metamorphic rocks, in all the minerals. Class, in the library for you all. There's no acid in there in the library, but there is a glass plate. The other that I put up campus this weekend, there is a exhibit down at the Hall Seminary down in the way down south. Yeah, I did check it out to make sure it wasn't unreligious. Exhibit there, it's a Smithsonian's exhibit they have at several seminaries across the country and lots of other places. It's on evolution. So it goes back 6 million years and just talks about changes that occurred. And I want you all to, look at the whole thing, if you want to do this for extra credit. Looking at the changes that occur over time, what evolutionary changes there have been, how, why did they change? Were they social changes? Were they species changes? Climate changes? I want you to think about the Pleistocene time period, the ice ages, the changes that occurred during that time period. So, so you're going to be writing a 500-word minimum type paper, and you're going to be writing about the climate changes during the Pleistocene and the human evolutionary changes as a result of the climate changes that you learned about. And one of the big questions they want you to answer when you're canvassing it is, what does it mean to be human? And you examine this, answer that question. I did come up with an answer myself, but if you're doing this, you do have to come up with some sort of and a photo of yourself at the skull replical thing. Say the word today. These models of these skulls, you can take kind of pictures of yourself. Any questions? A couple people went down there on this spring break. Anyway, that's an option for you all if you're interested. And that one was worth 20 points, which is more than what I normally do for next credit. It says that. Yes, it does say that. Okay, we have most different. Test. I want you all to take a look at it. I will collect it after we look at it. So take a look at it, go through it. Number one. Yeah, you're talking about the weathering that occurs in Kansas City. The chemical weathering to be talking about over those things. So maybe we'll talk about those and we can talk about one more, even talk about both of them. Any questions on that? The next one is about soils. Why are the soils in northern Missouri different than the ones in the southern part of the state and the Ozark area? I gave you all the information you need to answer the question in the question. And I primarily want you to talk about the parent rock. It's different in both of those areas. The luster is different. The luster is up north and limestone is head down south. The parent rock is different. It's slow. Now, the Ozark area is more hilly, slope is greater. Soil, whereas north it's flat.
It's a live stream for a class.
You're
I gotta, it's a live stream for a class. I gotta show them the work, like doing work. Yeah.
Okay, so you're taking your class?
Yeah, I'm just taping it this way though. I'm not taping it that way.
And the 5 factors I want you to think about was living organism. I told you that climate and rainfall had nothing to do with that they were civilized. Be good on the question 3. 4. I think this was probably a whole of the time we already did. It was here again. Question 5 was not in here. Was didn't have a question 5. Is that right?
Yeah, no question 5.
That surprised me. Well, it's only not that where you test and I'm that question. I took it out and it was last before I printed them and so you'll get that question on the next test. Number 6. You're talking about sedimentary rocks that were formed in the warm subtropical waters off the southeastern coast of Florida. It's not a Everett Bay, it's off or deep ocean. So, and we're supposed to talk about no coal, no gypsum, no rock salt, but it could be sandstone, mudstone, siltstone, shale, limestone, big dry, sugarwood, limestone, chalk, siltstone. Those are the ones that those people came up with. And then the next question, we're supposed to classify them according to whether or not they were organic solids, carbonates, ephemeral, or other. Just like what we had, how you define them in class in the lab. And, we can mix results on that. Describing how the tunis coal is formed, telling a story. Starting with the 3. Your let's talk about this tree living in the swamp and dying and falling into the water. It'd be really nice if you talk about that, it's starting in water and talk to it's depleted in the water. Talk about that. But so, with the, in later after later after later, where the water gets pressed out, the carbon gets, more concentrated, and it goes from from a heat to a lignite to a bituminous coal. That's looking for that story. Sandstones that we talked about in class, quartz sandstone, Arco sandstone, gray wet. Um, they had several questions. They were um, I didn't separate out. But you're supposed to name and describe the three types of sandstones, explain regarding deposition for each of them. So you're naming them, you're describing them, and giving the environmental deposition. Three questions there. And people sometimes gave me the name, but didn't give anything else, or didn't describe what it was. Sometimes it had the location. Quartz sandstone, beach or a sand dune deposit of the ocean. So it could be ocean environment, or it could be desert environment. Arcos, because it's potassic feldspar, at least 25% potassic feldspar in it. You know, it has to be an arid environment. It's a place that we talked about where we were fans. Those are being positive. In a gray wacky, it has at least 15% of fine grain materials, so it's fine, medium, coarse materials in it, unsorted, compositionally, size-wise, and compositionally, formed completely oceans. There's a bunch of multiple choice questions. Any question about those? Class average on this was only 62, which is not as good as I was expecting. Need to make sure you listen to the instructions that are given for the test. Make sure you read the question and answer the question that's asked. If there are, different pieces of it, some of you all are really good about this, where you underline the different pieces, so you know that it's not just one little question, that one, you have three parts to it. If I'm asking for one answer, I'll give you two answers, I may ask for one. Keep that in mind also. Rocks. And I asked a lot of different questions about the rocks. The first one was a sandstone, so I'm sure sandstone environment. The Arctic sandstone. Arid climate, desert environment. Because the feldspar is in there. Fossil rich limestone. And probably had a characteristic that you would ask on it and never missed, and they'll identify it. Word was bituminous coal. 5 was a micritic limestone. 6, and there are several different ones of these, but 6 was either a conglomerate or a breccia. Some of you all heard of breccia, a conglomerate. I couldn't find 4 all the same conglomerate. So some of you all heard of breccia, conglomerate, but I paid attention to where you all were sitting, so I knew which one you had. But Those are formed really close to the source, the breaking was made at the source, and the root deposit. And, yeah, conglomerates rolling downstream a little bit. Shale, number 7. A, the oolitic limestone. Put some acid on there, that's that. And that's formed, near shore in a subtropical environment, tropical environment. Then we had 2 surprises, 2 minerals. One was a calcite, and one was a calcium feldspar. Any questions? Answer the test this way.
$59.
I thought you'd be out. What happened? What did you?
All of them. No. Multiple choices was fun.
Guess what was on? I tried to write. It's the writing ones. Oh, it was one that was.
Oh, yeah, I didn't read that.
We can only go.
What are your questions? Which I don't know what I. Yes.
If you will not, if it rains and you want to get all that test, don't worry about it. Just, think about it for the next time. Make sure you're doing all the homework. Then when you're reading, listening in class, I mean, it looks like a lot of people were not really listening in class, you can get it all. Listen, once you're all listening in class, taking notes, now not everybody takes notes, and I understand that some people learn better just by listening. Most of us cannot do that. But some people can, I didn't realize that. Make sure you get to class on time, ready to learn and study here. Cell phones, put all the cell phones away. I've seen cell phones a lot. They come on silent. You have them out and face down so you can't see when it winds up. And I don't want the library to be effectual. Yes, you are responsible for a child or an older adult if you might have, in my understanding, it's a little different situation. But most of us do not have that. Your computers, you've got them on the PowerPoint, you're not playing any games on them. You have one semester where 3 guys that spent the whole semester and they spent the whole time on what is that thing, whether it's a game of football that I'm so far away from
Fantasy.
it now.
Fantasy football.
Fantasy football. Yeah, the whole class was fantasy football. 2 of those guys failed the class. But not contrary, I'm not walking around seeing that, disturbing anybody behind you. The main thing, pay attention to your homework. Pay attention when you're reading the book online. Take notes. Some people don't actually read the book. I went through chapter 22 yesterday. Just to see, what it was like going through it. I didn't read the book. I just did it through the questions, but I did go back and read as I was going through the questions. And I did not get 100%. You don't get it right the first time or the second time, you that changes things. You go on and change. But, so it's good to take notes as you're going through it. How is it going with reading the book on Connect and answering the questions? Is that going fairly smoothly for you guys?
Chapter 7. Chapter 7. Is that what we're doing today?
Yes.
Is lecture over chapter 7 today? Is lecture over chapter 7 today? Chapter 7.
So much work to do.
Don't stress about it. Just use your time wisely. It's not worth stressing, bro.
Just don't do it.
Or just, I mean, you could, but then you're gonna fail.
Extra credit is matter of fact, take the class.
I'm not too worried about that. That's just like a page, isn't it?
The bad thing is that I fucking recorded it, so I'm at the
I'll send
I'm
my
not gonna
notes.
watch like 40 minutes of
I'll send it to you. Even if you can take a picture of it.
you have the module.
Yeah. Send this note.
Betty the man.
Yeah. Take a picture. It's the first one.
In Kansas, it's true, there's significant deposits of stuff where it's source from.
There we go.
It's true.
There we go.
Everybody's attention.
That's it.
So we're talking about finished deposits for volcanoes in Kansas.
Volcanic ash in Kansas, it's true, there's thick deposits of the stuff there, but where the source from. Geologists began puzzling over this in the late 1800s when these deposits were first recognized. We're coming to you today from the Rock Chemistry Laboratory at the Cascades Volcano Observatory at the U.S. Geological Survey. It is in places like this that geological mysteries like that of the Kansas ash get solved. Now, initially, it was thought that the ash came from northern New Mexico. That's the direction of the prevailing winds, and of course, there are lots of volcanoes in northern New Mexico. But the chemistry of the ash didn't match the chemistry of the rocks. There wasn't a good match with the rocks in Long Valley Caldera, another big explosive volcanic system located in eastern California. The Yellowstone spot on match, not only in terms of the rock chemistry, but also the timing. These ash beds in Kansas and throughout the Great Plains matched up with the big caldera-forming eruptions from 2.1 million years ago, 1.3 million years ago, and 631,000 years ago. And these deposits have been found throughout the West. In fact, even offshore in Northern California, in marine sediment drill holes. And it's not just these most recent 3 eruptions that have deposited ash across the landscape. Past Yellowstone system eruptions have done that as well. The asphalt fossil beds in Nebraska are made up of ash from a 12-million-year-old volcanic eruption when the Yellowstone hotspot was in southern Idaho. We're going to learn an awful lot about the Yellowstone system by looking at ash that covers the western United States. All right, well, that's the story for Kansas. Now let's head back to Yellowstone and talk about ground deformation, seismicity, and geyser activity.
I just thought that was interesting. We have ash deposits from Yellowstone here. And this kind of drops, so you won't get this far yet. That's a good place to mention again. Look at what's the first. the fossil been something of an yes, where they're uncovering some animals that got covered with the ash. I have not been there. Thought that was interesting. And you know, something to go visit. They were not over very spring, I did check that.
That's like, we're not the investigators.
It is. I don't remember exactly. It's an Ashfall fossil beds in Nebraska. It's a state historic site. I don't remember where that's at. That's what it looks like where they're uncovering bones of different animals that we recovered. And I think it's just this one area that's available for people to see. It's interesting. It's so close. Okay, to what we're supposed to be talking about today. Now, to recap a little bit of what we talked about on before spring break. I think some people might have forgotten a few things over spring break. Didn't go back and refresh. So we talked about one of the things we talked about is the factors that control the characteristics of our metamorphic rocks. So the first thing, the composition. What is that? What is the composition of the parent rock, the propylene? Remember that word, propylene. Not one I normally use, but make sure you remember that. Yeah. When you go through metamorphism, we're only using the elements that are in the block right there. So those elements may move around. There's elements in there that move around and make different minerals. Like the clay minerals that are in shale could change to mica minerals in the metamorphic rock. Or we could have the clay minerals in the shale turn into chlorite mineral during the first part of metamorphism. So the parent rock will make a difference. On your lab book, remember, we looked at this page for classification and we talked about what the parent rock would be. We talked about slate, light, talked about different schists, and we talked about gneiss. We also talked about quartzite and metaphoric conglomerates, live out hornbills. Those are interesting because any rock type is the original rock. We're going to be identifying some anticipate coal, which came from the tuminous coal. So that makes a difference in what that parent rock is to what you're going to get in the end. Temperature makes a big difference too. Because remember, we have Boas reaction series. The ones on the bottom of that chart are felsic minerals. They will, your rocks that have quartz and feldspar in it, they will not be able to withstand as much temperature as mafic rocks. So they'll start metamorphosing and they may not stay metamorphosed, whereas the mafic rocks would stay metamorphosed. Because if it gets too hot and it melts, what type of rock do we form? We can turn it into an igneous rock. If it actually crystallizes in the kind of in between the metamorphic rock and the igneous rock, it could have a lignite, would be a combination of metamorphic and igneous. Pressure, we talked about confining pressure causing non-foliated rock. We have equal pressure on all sides. So we can get non-foliated rocks. Whereas if we have differential stress, they'll be foliated. So we have compressive stress coming from two directions, pressing top and bottom, or sides. Compression is from two directions instead of all, it's not equal on all sides. And so that's compressive stress, which is type of differential stress. And then shear, if we're having that compressive stress, and then it moves a little bit, we get shearing. And conversion plate boundaries where you're pushing the rock into underneath the other plate, it causes a lot of shearing to occur. Then they mix the fluids. The fluids that are coming out of the composition of the rocks. Fluids are real important because they move those ions around and help the minerals change from one mineral to another type of mineral because fluids move around. Then time. More time, more metamorphism will occur, larger sizes. I gave an example of garnet, which actually gets bigger and bigger over time during metamorphism. That's just sort of a recap of what is that we talked about last time, why the rocks are looking different. Let's start fresh right now with the new material. Where the rocks forming? Where is metamorphic rocks forming? Locations where we hit confining pressure on all sides, differential stress, and or heat. And a conversion plate boundary, we're going to have differential stress. So we have two plates coming together. One of the class. Two plates coming together. Conversion plate boundary. One sits below the other one. That's differential stress. It's a location where we're defending metamorphism. The interior of the earth, of the continents, combining pressure equal on all sides. Where we have hot spots, where there's volcanoes, not associated with a plate boundary, then we're going to have heat causing the metamorphism. Then there are magma chambers in the crust and mantle cause heat and also differential stress depending on how deep they are. This is a very, very busy diagram. Talk about what all this is. Okay, where does metamorphism occur? Talk about regional metamorphism. Remember, regional is over a big area, whereas contact metamorphism is just very localized. So this is regional. The depth is going to be occurring, it's greater than 5 kilometers. The temperature range between 300 and 800 degrees Celsius. And we're going to have zones of shearing. The contact metamorphism is going to be occurring where there's high heat. So let's just look at this diagram. There's a lot of stuff in there. Here we have a conversion plate boundary. We have the lithosphere, which is the crust and the uppermost part of the mantle. This is oceanic crust. It is sinking below the continental crust. Continental crust, but it has continental crust plus the uppermost part of the mantle. It's lithosphere. It's not labeled quite right. Lithosphere is the crust and the uppermost part of the mantle. It's sinking below here. That's the location where we're at. We have the isotherms on here where as these red lines are, tell me where the temperature is. It's all this 300 degrees Celsius line. So the ocean, and it sinks long down here. So because the plate's going down there, it's bringing down the colder material over here. Whereas we have 600. Look at that. We have 3 thermometers here. That's a better word. We have A. This is 50 kilometers, the size of this thermometer here. Here's B, it's also 50 kilometers. And C is 50 kilometers. So they're all going down to the same depth. But A, at the very bottom of this thermometer here, it's about 300 degrees Celsius. We look at B, go down 50 kilometers, it's going to be 600 degrees Celsius. big difference in temperatures depending on the location. Here we are in the interior. Here we are at the plate boundary. And C is well below the 600 degrees Celsius. I'm guessing this is right or something just short of 800 degrees Celsius. So the temperatures will be different in different locations. So we're going to get some contact metamorphism going on up in here. We're going to have some differential stress down here. Some is shearing. And then metamorphism occurring here. Metamorphism over here, which will be, it's too deep. Depending on the minerals you have, it's not going to metamorphose, it will actually melt. We have between 300 and 600 right there. Now remember, there's different conditions, how much pressure there is, but how much water available, make a difference on the melting points of minerals. So the key thing for melting, metamorphism is occurring at 300 to 800 degrees Celsius. This is, you don't need to remember this at all. And I think it points out a lot of good information that I want you to see here. But you don't need to memorize this at all, but just the different type of minerals, the rocks that can be in, different types of rocks that can be formed from metamorphism. We're starting out with the shale. This graph is showing how a shale can turn into lots of different things based on how much pressure there is and how much heat there is. If I up here, cornfields through contact metamorphism. It started out as a shale. It's really close to a heat source and had contact metamorphism. So we have a lot of heat, but not very deep. This is down to, let's see, depths over here. This is it's showing 10 kilometers here. That would be really further up where the cornfields would be. If we are low heat, the first thing that's going to happen will be a zeolite would form. And if we add more heat, let's go with, okay, over here, we've got just regular pressure that's happening here. We are in a very hot area. That shale is going to turn to a zeolite, to a green schist, to amphibolite, to a granulite. Whereas if it was in not as hot, but going just about as deep, it's going to go from a zeolite. It's then going to change to this one. It'll change to a blue schist, and then it'll change to an emeraldite. So the same parent material changing to different type of rocks through metamorphism would depend on the heat and the pressures. So it's temperature along the top, and on the right, pressure on the left. This is going to work a little bit, looking at some of that same information. Get out your lab book, page 206. We're going to figure out what's the rock forming in different locations. And we're going to have minerals that are amphibolites. We get green schist, we get emeraldite, and we get blue schist. We're going to label them A, G, E, B based on the first letter of these different minerals, different rocks. And amphibolite forms and by low pressure, high temperature,
Bush.
green schist, low pressure, low low temperature. Go back and look at, it's coming from this information here. Ecolite, high pressure, high temperatures. The blue schist, high pressures, low temperature. So we're going to look at all of these settings here. We've got these 1, 2, 3, 4 settings down here. Temperature, so shown here where everything is, so this one's about at 300. This one is, say, 400 degrees Celsius. This one's on the line of 300. This one is down here, around 800 or something like that. A lot of differential stress occurring here, a lot of shearing occurring as you're pushing this top tectonic plate below the other one. So a lot of pressure is going on there, a lot of stress. Here in the interior of the Earth, the continent. So once you look at this individually, see if you can figure out which is which in the world. Looking at these, just so we can see high temperature. We have the ecolite and the ecolite at a high temperature. So I've got this one right down here is a high temperature. And this one is a high temperature. Now this one has a lot of stress. High pressures being in the boundary area. And high temperature, as we're reading off the chart here. So high pressure, high temperature, what would that be? The ecolite, the E, put the E right there. This one doesn't have the pressures that you have over here. So low pressure, but it's pretty high temperature. It's over 600 degrees Celsius. So low pressure, high pressure, a low pressure, high temperature. What would that be? This one right here. I'm sorry, can you hear me? The ample. So this would be low pressure, high temperature. This must be getting the heat from these magma chambers. Moving upwards. Okay. Over here, we have low temperature. And we've got 300 degrees, so that's kind of low temperature. We know that's high stress. Low temperature, high stress.
B.
Low temperature, high stress. It's this one right here, this first one, that would be your blue schist. I'm kind of bouncing around here. Blue schist. And we had, next one was the ecolite. And on height. Extra element. This one we decided that one was the amphibolite. Okay, here we have around 300, 400 degrees, and lower temperature, low temperature, lower pressure, not high pressure at least. Process of elimination, it is a graciousness. I find that fun. I mean, I will put that on my test, but that might find it's fun to try to figure that out. I can't put it on our list of things that we have to, but leaving in our book, I did add this to us, and I'm sure you at least fill in those little chart, the little bubbles there. This is another, this same sort of idea here, all the different temperatures, or all the different minerals that can, rocks, I'm sorry, rocks that can form, different pressures, different temperatures. Same idea. This one, when you did your homework, you looked at this, maybe, yes, you did. Because the minerals that you were identifying came from the chart. So let's look at the grades of metamorphism. We're talking with grades, we're talking with starting with a shale, just a sedimentary rock formed in, could be a floodplain, it could be near shore settling deposits. What's coming in, settling in a quiet area. But the shale is going to turn low grade metamorphism. It's going to turn into a slate. Then through more metamorphism, low grade to intermediate grade, like. So the slate actually metamorphoses to another type of mineral, another type of rock, sorry. And then that phylite can turn to a schist, which is intermediate grade. And then that schist can turn into a gneiss, which is high grade metamorphism. And we can look at the minerals in these rocks, be able to figure out the degrees of metamorphism. You have chloride in there, and that is a sheet silicate where it's just, it's like muscline biotite with clay type mineral. This is formed of low grade metamorphism. Your muscline, your biotite, low grade or high grade metamorphism. Your garnet, it's going to be an intermediate or high grade. When we see it in a gneiss, we know it's high grade. Hornblende, intermediate and high grade. A starlight, this one we cannot see, but you all identified it in your homework. So that's intermediate. Kyanite can be intermediate or high grade. Stibnite, another one we haven't identified. That is high grade metamorphism. So we can look at the minerals in the rocks to figure out what grade metamorphism is. This is one of the assignments that you did. For homework. Let me just go ahead and answer all these questions. I'm assuming everybody did the homework. Everybody's ready to answer this. We're on page 198. The name of minerals, and then the book it asks you the name of the degree of metamorphism, but let's do that just for the fun. I've seen this mineral, just look at this picture, and I told you that you can find the answer right here. So it's one of these right here. This one we might be able to find right away, we might not be able to. Elise, what did you come up with for number one? I'm not pronouncing your name right. Starlight. And you just got a name with 6 stars, and you thought that's how I do it at one time. And what type of metamorphism will we have if we have that mineral in a rock? What do you think? What degree of metamorphism? Is that low degree, intermediate, or high grade? Intermediate grade. So that wasn't one of the questions that they asked you, but I think it's interesting. The next one, what do we have there? Nighelli. It's a biotite mica. And if we find that, what degree of metamorphism has that rock gone through? It can be low to intermediate, but you can see that in the schist also. You see it in the shale, you can see it in the schist. Oh, the next one we haven't seen before, but process of elimination. What do you think this is? Azurite. Not azurite. Got to work on names again, I'm sorry, but Azurite, okay. So 3 is chloride. And if we look at the description of what chloride is, it said it's a green mineral, platy mineral. So if we have chloride, what degree of metamorphism is that rock? Low grade to intermediate, probably gonna be a low grade and possibly intermediate, just barely over that line. Paulette, what do we have for 4? What kind of mineral is that? It's platy. It's scratch with your fingernail.
I think I do.
Okay, well, Sarah, what is 4? Muscovite mica. If we have a muscovite mica, what degree of metamorphism is that rock that mica is sitting in? What do you think, Sarah? Just looking at the graph that's up there. If we're seeing muscovite right here, we know that it's going to be either a low grade or intermediate grade. Yeah, Aaron. Aaron, what is 5?
I originally said kyanite, but I don't know now.
Okay.
I feel like 7 is kyanite.
Yeah, 7 sounds like kyanites, and so process of elimination. 5 is a. Spencer, do you know? Number 5 is 1. This is what we had to look at the descriptions.
The one under.
What is this gray white mineral?
It's the one under kyanite, right? On the graph.
Yes, this is still.
It's silmonite.
So we have high grade metamorphism, and we find this in rock. Okay. Aaron, what do you think about 6?
Well, garnet.
That's a garnet. So we have a garnet in rock. What degree of metamorphism is that garnet? Is that rock?
It's intermediate.
It's probably an intermediate, could be a high grade. It's going to find nice with not garnets in it. Let's see. 7. Alexis, what is this 7?
Kyanite.
That's your kyanite. I wish you would get some of that. This is really pretty mineral. Not getting in this lab. But if we have kyanite in our metamorphic rock, what degree of metamorphism is that rock going through?
Intermediate to high grade.
Intermediate to high grade. And can't really answer the same questions on this one. If we have, what is the mineral, Sarah? What is the mineral on 8? Is effervescing with acid? And it's not one of the things that's up here.
Quartz.
I couldn't hear you.
Is it quartz?
Well, the effervescence with acid is going to be calcite. Being calcite. And that calcite through contact metamorphism, high heat, will turn into a marble that doesn't fit with this zones right here. High temperature. And we can use this just the map. Metamorphism in an area. They've done this in Canada where they're just following the degree of metamorphism. For where you can find sillimanite, you can see it, or trace of metamorphism from a certain spot. That kyanite formed through high pressure. This all started, just think about it, it all started with the same mineral and changed. So this one formed under low pressure, high pressure, sillimanite. Same there rock, shaped turning to different types of minerals. So shale could have different minerals in that shale, different clay minerals, but changing to all these different minerals. I find that fascinating. This is another part of the homework that you all did. This is on page 199 and the following page. The first was asking, the first was asking this limestone, both of the top two rocks that are there, they're both composed of the same mineral, and does it give us any hints? It doesn't give us any hints there. What type of mineral would that be? Be a calcite. And how can we tell it's a calcite? Acid test. And the texture, or is the texture the same on both of these? No. So we have, the first one is a bioplastic texture. It's fossils in it, it's a sedimentary rock. This one's a crystalline texture. This is your metamorphosis. If the calcite has recrystallized to make this marble. And then, yeah, I think you all, I don't think we really need to go through all of this. We'll probably done it, understood it, but we're talking about the different degrees of metamorphism where you got these, slate that microminerals have formed or microscopic, but it just makes it shiny. And then it progresses to metamorphism, give it more time, more heat pressure, turns into their light, the grains get bigger, and then they get bigger to make the schist. So it's just increasing the grain size of probably the different micas that are in there. And the texture, the second question is asking about the texture, and one is crinkly and shiny, and the other one's a coarser grain. And I was asking a question about this. And this was originally, it is white layers of metamorphic rock, so nice, were originally flat, and the layers were parallel, later folded, and it wants to know how in the world this could have happened. Once you think about it, they had to look at a candle and kind of think about that. So this is, while the rock is still warm, it is hot and ductile, it's able to be folded. It wasn't going to the surface where it's going to be brittle and break and fracture. It's just through the heat, it was able to fold and make the folds there. Okay, let's look at this first rock on top, page 200. What defines the oleation in this rock? We have two minerals that they told us about, muscovite and garnet. The muscovite is going to be showing the layers that muscovite. Notice that the rock consists mostly of fine-grained muscovite, but also contains scattered garnet crystals. What is the name of this type of texture? I get your book, so you could do that. Logan, I had your book too. I had your book too? Yeah. Okay, just excuses. James, what kind of texture was, this first picture here? Remember that texture is? Um, it's D. It's defined by the garnets are there. You have a special name when you have garnets in the metamorphic rock. We call it a porphyroblastic texture. A porphyroblastic texture. That just there's a porphyroblastic texture that put an I see on it. Kimberly, what name would we give this rock? D, letter D. So we have porphyroblastic in there, the garnets, and we have a mica, metamorphic rock. We would call it a, can't remember if you were here on Thursday or not. One of the rocks we did. But the slate would not have those garnets in it, but let's. Here, right? Yeah, it's not a pillite. Marjorie. Expressions, I guess.
Any last question?
Yeah, it's a garnet muscovite schist. The one, put the in there,